So good afternoon. Today we will start the chapter that is important, that is array. Now what is this array? So here we are focusing on the linear array, planar array and circular array. This is the type of array. Our major focus is on the linear array. So here n element linear array, uniform amplitude, that may be the broadside array, end-fire array. N element array, we are finding out the directivity, design procedure, and then we are going for this some type of array. Okay, so here we will understand first, that is what the array. The radiation pattern of a single element antenna is relatively wide, and each element provide low value of directivity, that is the gain. So here why we require array? That some element require provide low directivity, that is low gain, but what we require in many application, very high directivity, that is very high gain antenna required for a long distance communication. If you want to transmit a signal for a longer distance, then what you require a highly directive antenna, or you can say a very high gain. Directivity and gain are the different terms, but they are directly related. You know the fundamentals of that. So to have the high directivity, how we can do? So the directivity can be increased by increasing the electrical size of antenna. So this is what the basic fundamental. If you can increase the electrical size of antenna, the directivity will get increased. Okay, so the antenna form by multiple element in array. So here we can have the multiple element and forming a array, that is the antenna array. Now in this, the most cases the element of an array are identical. So here there are multiple type of array and arrangements are possible. We'll discuss that what type of arrangement are possible. So here in most cases the element are identically mostly that is used. So this is not necessary, but it is often considered that is the similar or more practicable. So the multiple, maybe if you will go for the microstrip antenna, then there are 2 by 2 rectangular microstrip antenna or circular. So generally identical elements are used. So the total field of an array is determined by the vector addition of the field radiation by the individual element. So here what is the ultimate aim? To improve the gain and the directivity. So whatever the radiation pattern, that is the radiation by the each antenna, so that will get added and it is the vector sum, because all are the vector quantity and we are adding that. Okay, so the current is depends on separation between the element. So multiple elements are there, so how the elements are separated, what will be the distance, based on that it is depend. So the total field of any point in the space, so at the space, if you are finding out the total field of that particular array, so it is the superposition of the field of the individual antenna. Means whatever the individual antenna is transmitting the field, so it is superposition, means it is the vector sum of that. Now radiation pattern of an array, antenna array, can be controlled by controlling either or the multiple of the element. Which are those elements? The very first is the geometrical configuration of an array. So you can put an array in a linear, that is in a straight line, in a circular way, or in a rectangular manner. Put in a rectangular manner and put each element here. So these are the multiple way, that is the geometrical configuration of putting the element, what way the element can be put. So these are some of the example, not necessary these 4 are there. Then relative displacement between the element. So that is what will be the distance between each element. So that is also the important parameter. Then the excitation amplitude of the individual element. Generally there are 2 type of array, that you can have the separate excitation. Generally, the single excitation is given. So based on that also. So if you will have the separate excitation, that is also possible for the different element. Then the excitation phase of the individual element. So you can have the transmitting line. Suppose whatever the frequency you are using, first element is here, second element is here. So you are giving excitation this way. So first element will get earlier the current, second element will get the delayed if it is here. So what happened? It will create a phase between the individual element, phase shift between individual element. So sometimes if it is required, can be considered. And the last one is the radiation pattern of the individual element. So what will be the radiation pattern of the individual element? Uh, uh, it is the major deciding factor for the radiation pattern of the antenna. So how the radiation pattern is decided? So that we are going to discuss here. Array factor is the term, and how array factor can be deciding the uh, radiation pattern. So that we'll discuss. So these are the important point that are important for the array. Now we will go one by one. So initially we'll go for some small derivation. Although this derivation may be or may not be asked directly in the exam, but for the understanding purpose, we require it. So two element array we are considering. So here in the diagram, you can consider this is what element 1 and this is element 2. So these two elements are there and you are finding out the parameter at this. So R is distance between the center, R1, R2. This is what the general consideration we are using. And from the center, this is d by 2 distance. This is d by 2 distance from the center. So now we will start the element. So the array of two infinitely small horizontal dipole position along the z-axis. So here the basic dipole and infinitely small dipole are taken. Now, if you will go for this, the total field radiated by the two elements, assuming no coupling between the elements. So we assume that there is no coupling between the element. So here, the ET, electric field, the total electric field is the addition of electric field by the first element. So this is what this first element, this is second element. So by these two. So by this formula, you can give the sum of the electric field intensity, electric field intensity. So this is what the basic formula, what we have discussed previously. The same formula is used here. Now, by adding this, what we can go. So in this formula, there is beta. So what is that? So where this beta is the phase excitation between the element. Okay, that is the phase excitation between the element. And the excitation magnitude is identical. What it is considered the magnitude of the excitation, that is the supply signal what we are giving, that is magnitude is identical. Assuming far field observation. So as we know for the dipole antenna, same assumptions are there, far field, that the point is very far as compared to the separation of these two antenna. So this way you can consider in a parallel. These points are parallel. These lines are parallel as unlike the previous. Now what? Again we have this assumption theta 1 equals to theta 2 equals to theta, and R1 and R2 can be considered by this formula same as what we have considered in the dipole. So that is R1 is equals to R minus d by 2 cos theta. So we are considering a triangle here, whatever the triangle here. So this is d by 2 and this is theta. So in this, what you can consider if it will go this way. So if I will consider a line here, a triangle. So this way, this is d by 2 and this additional, this in R1, this distance you have to subtract. So d by 2 cos theta, that you have to subtract from R1, and in the R2 you have to add this. Okay, because if you will consider this way, So this distance is additional here, and here this distance is less. Okay. So this is what R1 and R2, and again for this is for the phase variation, and for amplitude you can consider R equals to R1 equals to R2. So these assumptions are there. Now by this assumption you can modify this total equation. So this will be the your equation. So the total electric field of an array is equal to the field of an single element position at the orthogonal at the origin multiplied by the array factor. So this array factor is the important thing. So what is this array factor? So this array factor is this component here, whatever this component. So this is what called the array factor. So this array factor is the thing, because we have the analysis of a particular antenna. So if you will go, so this is what the basic, this before two, this is what the radiation pattern of your infinitely small dipole antenna. The equation you can verify, and this is what the array factor. So which is, what is this, which is normalized form, and can be written. So in the normalized form, this array factor can be written in this way. So that is array factor is given for an element. As these are the two elements, so that's why the 2 came. If the array factor is n, so in the normalized way can be written this way, so 2 will not be there. Now this is what the array factor of this. So the array factor is the function of the geometry of the array and the excitation phase. Okay, what this array factor? It is the function of a geometry of the array and the excitation phase. So as if you will change the geometry and the excitation and phase, so the array factor will change. Now what is its role? Graphically we'll see in the next slide. By varying the separation, that is D. So here the element what are there in the array factor, that is what that will consider. This is what D. So D is the separation between two elements, and or phase, that is beta, that is the excitation phase of the element between the element. The characteristics of the array factor and the total field of the array can be controlled. So these are the controlling factor. This is what the beta, and this is what the D. So by controlling these two factor, or varying these two factor, the array factor can be changed. That is distance between two element, as we are discussing for the two element array, and beta is the phase excitation. Now here the far field of a uniform two element array is of the identical element. So we have taken the identical element and far field, so that can be given. So E total equals to, what is this? E single element at the reference point. So at that particular reference point, what is the electric field due to single element? So we are making it simpler as the mathematical analysis we are doing, because the fundamental, it is for the generalization, as the single element design can be have the mathematical equation for the electric field. So the electric field intensity E of a single element at the reference point into array factor, so that you will get the total electric field. How? Graphically we will understand. Now here you can see, what is this? This is what element. So you can say this is the dipole element. So dipole element, dipole to single dipole. So this is what the radiation pattern that we discussed. And what this is what the array factor. So this is array factor. If we will multiply this, then we will get this. So as a result, as compared to this, this is a little bit directive, more directive. Okay, so it depends on, if you will put more element, it becomes more directive. So that we'll discuss afterwards, what is the impact. So this is what the basic functioning of the array factor. So that array factor is the most important. Another example of the array factor. Now here you can have the very clear idea. This is what, again the same element, that same element is what? Dipole antenna, and this is array factor. So how we got this array factor? The pattern multiplying of the element array factor and the total array pattern of the two element array of infinitely small horizontal dipole with beta. We have changed the beta. Initially, in this previous case, the beta is 0, means the phase difference between two elements is 0, no phase shift. So array factor, you got this. Now if you will do the phase shift between two elements, if the phase shift is of plus 90 degree, then we will get array factor of this. So this is what that much importance of the array, this beta factor. Okay, so if the beta is changed by the 90 degree, so we will get array factor this way. So array factor this way, this multiplied by the radiation pattern of the element, we got the total radiation pattern this way, and spacing is lambda by 4 between two elements. So here you can see that whatever in the general element, whatever the radiation pattern is divided into both the lobe. So now it is majorly focused in the down lobe here, and these are, you can see, the side lobe. So as compared to the previous, the directivity of this antenna is improved. So obviously the gain of the antenna will be improved. Similarly, if this is plus 90, if we will take minus 90, as the beta factor here is taken as minus 90, then what happens? If it is taken minus 90, then array factor is changed. So instead of negative downside lobe, the lobe direction is changed. So this way it is there. So this is what the importance of the array, as by changing the phase between two elements. So this can be done, this beta. Okay, so I hope you have understood this. So is the array factor concept is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll go further. Now we have discussed the two element array. Now we'll go for the n element array. So n element array. Now there are multiple variation. Here some cases we are going to discuss. So n element array with uniform amplitude and spacing. So n element array, the amplitude is uniform and spacing is also uniform. Okay. Now this is what the design. In the design, all the elements have the identical amplitude. So this is element 1, element 2, element 3, element 4. As similar to the two element, now we are adding multiple elements. So if we will add the multiple element, then what happened? That we have to discuss. So each succeeding element has a beta progressive phase, okay, and lead current excitation. Now if this element 1 is having beta equals to 0, then the 2 will have the phase shift of something else, maybe 30 degree, 40 degree. If we are consider 30 degree, so element 1 0 degree, here 30 degree, so element 3 is 60 degree, then 90 degree, and so on and so forth. So this way the phase difference is there between each element. So this is progressive, constant but progressive, as I have given the example 30, 60, 90, and so on. So this way is the assumption of the design. So what happened? An array of identical element, all of identical magnitude and each with a progressive phase, is referred to as the uniform array. So if you will give the progressive phase, then and the amplitude is uniform, everyone you are giving amplitude constant. So then that array is called the uniform array. Now what next? The array factor can be obtained by considering the element of element to be pointed source. Now array factor, how we can consider the array factor? Because here the method we have fixed that we will find it out the array factor and then we'll go further. So the array factor can be given by, now we'll focus directly on the array factor formula. So array factor is given by this equation, that is 1 plus e to the power plus j kd cos theta plus beta. Then this j factor is 2 times and so on till j n minus 1. So this way this equation is simplified, that is n equals to 1 to n. So n is what number of element, and this formula we have got for the array factor. Now this array factor can be n to the n equals to 1 to n e to the power j n minus 1 psi, where psi is what kd cos theta plus beta. So whatever your phase angle that beta is considered here, d is considered here. D means the separation between two element and k is the constant. So this way the array factor is calculated. Now this array factor calculation, the array factor for the uniform array is the summation of the summation of the all, that is the exponential summation. So it can be represented by the vector sum of n element. So all the n element, what vector sum will be there, and phase of each unit amplitude and the progressive phase psi relate relative to the progression. So what it means? So here the example is given. Now this is what the phasor diagram. Now this is what the initial point. The first array factor, this is here element 1. So angle 0. It has angle psi. So it is magnitude is constant. So everyone has the constant magnitude, every vector. So it will go this. So this is what second element, then third element, then fourth element, and so on and so forth. And this is what your nth element, whatever the number of elements are there. And for the nth element, you just put a vector here. So whatever this is called the array factor. So this is what the graphical representation of the vector diagram, so that we can understand what is happening inside the radiation pattern. So this way there is a multiplication of the radiation pattern. The vector sum will be taken place, and this is what the array factor. Now the amplitude and phase of array factor can be controlled by properly selecting the relative phase angle, that is psi, between the element. So what should be, as I given the example of 30 degree, so it can be increase decrease according to the requirement or the application. In non-uniform array, amplitude as well as the phase can be used to control the formation and distribution of total array factor. So here what we have discussed only progressive phase but uniform amplitude. But here you can have the non-uniform amplitude also. Okay, so here n element linear array, uniform amplitude and spacing. So for the same, the maximum value of normalized array factor, what should be the maximum value of array factor? So the array factor is sin n by 2 psi upon n by 2 psi. So here from 0 to this value, if we'll put theta psi equals to 1, and this value if we'll put, so you will get that is 2 by 3 pi. So it is the maximum array factor is 0.212. So if you will normalize array factor in dB, so it is what 20 dB 10 log 20 into log to the base 10 2 by 3 pi. So it comes minus 13.46 dB. So minus 13.46 dB. So thus the maximum of the first minor lobe of the array factor is 13.46 dB down from the maximum at the major lobe. What it means that I'll show here. If you will go for the radiation pattern and your major lobe is of suppose 20 dB. So 20 dB minus 20 dB minus this 13.46 dB will do. Suppose I will consider this as the 13.5. So 20 minus 13.5. So you will get approximately 6.5 dB as your minor lobe. So your minor lobe will be 6 point something. So the difference between, that is, this is called the suppression. The sideband separation. So this sideband separation will be, that is minus 13.4 dB. So why this n element, you can have the maximum lobe, that is what the sideband or the back lobe. So back lobe as compared to your main lobe, you can have separation, that is the separation, it can be separate at up to minus 13.46 dB. Okay, so this is what the maximum possible by the uniform amplitude and spacing and progressive phase. Okay, this is maximum possible. And in most of the application, minus 14 dB or 13.5 dB or 46 dB is the standard considered, as there should be the separation between the lobe, that is the back lobe and the side lobe. Sorry, main lobe and the back lobe. Now, the array can be designed for the various pattern. So if you require the broadside array, that means the radiation should be in a broadside. You can have the end fire array, the radiation can be in the end fire, that is vertically. Broadside, horizontally. So broadside array design, how it can be done. So that we'll discuss. So these are all the basic thing that we are discussing for the array. So the broadside array, the maximum radiation direction normal to the axis of the array. So this is what array, that is along the z-axis. So if the array elements are along the z-axis, so radiation pattern is normal to this z-axis, that is in the xy plane. So horizontally the radiation pattern is there, that is theta equals to 90. So it is necessary that all the elements has the same phase and amplitude excitation. So in the broadside, it is necessary that the elements have the same phase. Means previously we have discussed the progressive phase, but here for the broadside we require the same phase for all elements and amplitude also for the excitation. So the maximum array factor of the occurred. So this is what maximum array factor. So that is KD cos theta plus beta equals to 0. When this psi equals to 0, that means no progression. It should be 0. Phase shift should not be there. Since it is desired to have the maximum direction towards theta equals to 90 degree, that is horizontal in xy plane. So psi equals to KD cos theta plus beta, theta equals to 90 degrees, so beta equals to 0. So your beta must be 0. So this is what called the broadside array. This is what your antenna, all your elements are along the z-axis. This. Okay, along this z-axis here. And as the elements are along the z-axis, it is perpendicular to this. So this is ideal broadside array. So the radiations are along the broadside, that is horizontal. So this is broadside array 3D pattern. The separation between the element can be any value that you can decide. The separation between the element should not be equal to the multiple of the wavelength. What it means? If your D, if you are taking and your wavelength is lambda, so it should not be, the D should not be the multiple of lambda. Suppose your wavelength is maybe 13 point something centimeter, so it comes approximately 866 around megahertz. So whatever your wavelength is there, so D separation should not be the multiple of your wavelength when beta equals to 0. If it happened, then if D equals to n times, so that is multiple of the lambda, multiple of the wavelength, and beta equals to 0, then put psi value in equation this 10.6, and what you will get? You will get this. So psi equals to 2n time n type of the pi. So you will get this, that is plus minus 2 n pi. So if your element is this, so you will get this. So your array factor is 1 by n sine n by 2 psi sine 1 by 2 psi. Okay. Now the array factor attained its maximum value for. So what array factor attained for d equals to n lambda and beta equals to 0. Then the maximum array factor, the factor directed broadside, that is theta equals to 0, theta equals to 90 degree, and to the axis of array. There are additional maximum directed along the axis, that is theta equals to 0 or 180. The array is called the end fire. If the radiation is pattern is along the 0, means along the z-axis, either positive z-axis or negative z-axis, that is called theta equals to 0 means positive z-axis, theta equals to 180 means negative z-axis. If this is there, then it is called the end fire array. So this is what the end fire as well as broadside array. If you will have along the multiple of that, then you will have the broadside as well as end fire. Okay, so this will be there if you will have the multiplication. If the separation, that is d, is multiple of the lambda. So this is the two-dimensional array factor for 10 elements. Now the broadside array, these are some formulations. So null means the radiation pattern. So null can be given by this formula. Maxima, so where you can get the maxima is given by this formula. Half power point, so where is the half power point? That is the minor lobe maxima. So these are the formulas where you can calculate your radiation pattern by using this formulation. Again, beam width from the uniform amplitude broadside array. So here first null beam width, that is the first null beam width. First null beam width, the basic parameter if you have gone through, that is where the major lobe meet, and this is what that point you can find it out the angle. So this is what the first null beam width. So given by this formula. Half power beam width, that is if you are taking it normalized, so 0.707 multiply, and if that point you are taking and putting angle there, so this is what the half power beam width. In most of the cases, half power beam width is considered. Then first side lobe beam width. So first side lobe, what will be the beam width? These are the formulation. You must know the basic fundamentals of this. That is what is null beam width, first null beam width, and the half power beam width. Now we will go for the end fire array. Now this broadside array, I hope is clear. Now we will go for the end fire array. Now in the end fire array, the maximum radiation along the axis of the array. Okay, as I told, along the z-axis, the elements are along the z-axis and radiation is along the z-axis also. So either it is positive z-axis, that is 0, theta equals to 0, negative z-axis, that is theta equals to 180. So what will be the, the requirement here? The direct the maxima towards theta equals to 0. So your psi equals to kd cos theta plus beta. Your kd plus beta equals to 0. So this kd plus beta, it should be 0. That means beta equals to minus kd. So your beta, it should be minus kd. So that is what requirement. In the broadside, you require beta equals to 0. But here the requirement is beta equals to minus kd. If the maxima is designed towards theta equals to 180, theta equals to 180, this is theta equals to 0. Theta equals to, this is for the positive z-axis, this is for the negative z-axis. For the negative z-axis, beta equals to kd. For the positive z-axis, beta equals to minus kd. So if you will change this angle, that is beta plus and minus, so you will get either on the positive z-axis or the negative z-axis, the radiation pattern. So this is what positive z-axis, that is theta equals to 0. This is what the first case. This is end fire array, and most of the application you require end fire array, and this theta equals to 180. So this end fire array, all the directive antenna mean in majority of application, means the satellite, radar, mobile generally they use the omnidirectional, but where point to point communication is there. So in point to point communication, mainly these directive antennas are used, and there they use the end fire array. So this radiation pattern end fire array is used. And this is the 2D factor. If the element separation is lambda by 2, end fire radiation excite in both the direction. Now if you will have the separation equals to lambda by 2, so instead of getting this radiation pattern in this only the, upper direction or the lower direction, you will get in both the direction. In what case? If your D, that is the separation between the element, is lambda by 2. If the element spacing is multiple of the wavelength, then what happens? D equals to n times of lambda. Then end fire radiation in both the direction. In this case also, the end fire radiation will be in the both the direction. There also maxima in broadside direction. As I have shown previously, there will also have the maxima in the broadside direction. These excite 4 maxima. So 2 in broadside direction, 2 in end fire direction. So what it will go vertically also and horizontally also. So this radiation pattern you will get. To have only one end fire maxima, the spacing between the element should be less than D max should be less than lambda by 2. So maximum you can have the spacing as lambda by 2, and the spacing should be less than lambda by 2. If you will have the spacing in multiple of lambda, you will have the 4 maxima, that is the radiation pattern will be in that way. So here end fire array, again null, maxima, half power beam width, and the minor lobe, the formulations are given. The first null, beam width and half power beam width, again it is given. Okay, now is it clear? Now we will go for the next, that is n element linear array. Now directivity we will discuss.
Yes.
In the n element linear array, how we can calculate the directivity? So n element array directivity can be calculated by the directivity is the figure of merit on the operation of the system. In this section, the directivity of n element linear array is discussed. So that is broadside, end fire, and this is the next one is we will not going to discuss this. So we are going to discuss only broadside and end fire. So directivity in broadside array, the maximum radiation direct normal to the axis of the array, that is theta equals to 90. Theta equals to 90 means this is broadside. This is the z axis, and here this is what the 90, that is in the horizontal. Okay. So this is what the array factor. So array factor is given by this formula. Okay. And for a small spacing between the element, that is D is very, very small than lambda, so can be approximated by. So this can be approximated as this instead of 1 by n. So broadside antenna directivity, the radiation intensity can be written as, so this radiation intensity given by this formula, that is the square of the what array factor. So you just put, so you will get sine z by the z. So z equals to, what is z? N upon 2 k d cos theta. K is constant, d is the separation. The directivity can be obtained. The directivity can be obtained d. That is, this is the general formula for the directivity. 4 pi u max upon p radiated, or u max upon u0. So by using this formula, we can put the value in this formula. So the average value of u0 is 1 upon 4 pi p radiated, that is 1 by 2, 0 to pi sine z upon z square sine theta d theta. So this is 0 to pi, you can integrate it this. So by making the changes change of variable, that is, this is the how we can solve the integration. So z equals to, you can put this way, and dz equals to this. This is solving this integration, simple mathematics. So by solving this integration, you will get u0 equals to this. So for a large array, that is nkd by 2, that is the large, can be approximated by exciting the limit to the infinity. That is, by putting this limit as minus infinity to plus infinity, you will get this as the pi. So u equals to approximately u0 equals to pi by nkd. So this is simple mathematics. Then the directivity can be written as we know, d0 equals to u max upon u0. So by using L equals to n minus 1 d, so here where L is the overall length of an array and can be explained. This is what we are going for the dipole antenna using. So d0 equals to 2n d by 2. So that is equals to 2n. You can put this value on this formula, that is 1 plus L by d and d by L. So here we can consider L is very, very large than d. So d0 equals to 2n d by lambda. So this way it can be calculated. So this is d0, that is 2 L by lambda. So this is what the formula for the directivity. Now we can have the simple example. This example may come in the exam. We will take one example for the broadside and one for the one example for the end fire. So both the example will consider. So here what is given? Given a linear broadside uniform array. Now linear array, that is in a straight line. Broadside uniform array, it is expected to have the broadside radiation. 10 isotropic element, that is n equals to 10, with a separation of lambda by 4. Separation between each element is lambda by 4, that is d equals to lambda by 4 between the element. Find the directivity of array. So what you are asked, you are asked to find it out, the directivity. So we have the directivity formula, that is simple numerical is this, d0 equals to 2n d by lambda. So we have every parameter. So d0 equals to 2n. N is the element, number of elements are 10, lambda 10, and d is what? Lambda by 4. The spacing is given as lambda by 4. Put lambda by 4, and here is lambda. Lambda will cancel. So it is what? 20. 10 into 2, 20 by 4, so 5. So what is d0? That is 5. So you got, this is what, this much simple. Okay. And in dB, so this is d. Generally directivity we calculate in terms of the dB. So you just take 10 log of 5. So it comes around 7 dB. So 7 dB is what the directivity you get by using this 10 element. Okay, so the radiation pattern will be the broadside. So this simple problem may come, or maybe the short question. Now we will go for the end fire array, and we will find it out the directivity of that. Now the end fire array directivity can be find it out by this formula. Maximum radiation, as you know, that is theta equals to 0 degree. The directivity is array factor is given by this formula. For a small spacing between the element d is less than lambda, the array factor can be approximated by this way. Okay, then we will go, the corresponding radiation intensity can be written as, that is u0 is array factor square. Procedure is same. So this way, same square. So you can have this sine z square, and z equals to the same n by 2 kd cos minus 1. So the directivity is d0 equals to 4 pi u max upon period 8 or u max upon u0. So this is what your general formula, which you have in the basic formulation in the first chapter. So this for general formula we are using. So the maximum value of the radiation intensity is unity. We know that U max equals to 1, and it occur at theta equals to 0. Now the average value of radiation intensity U equals to 1 upon 4 0 to 2 pi 0 to pi sine theta d theta d phi. This equation we got from the spherical coordinate system, and here the equation what we put that we got previously. So if we will solve this integral, so we will get, so by putting again by solving, to solve this integral, we can have, you just put the z value for this, dz equals to this, and then you can solve u equals to, you will get this value. So for the large array, as similar to the previous, we can have some approximation. So by this approximation u0, you will get this value. Again, you can put 0 to minus infinity to plus infinity. So it comes pi. So u0 is approximately equals to pi upon 2 n kd. So this is what the value of u0. So the directivity is given. This is what the proof. Sometimes the proof may ask. So this is directivity is d0 u max upon u0 is equals to 2n kd upon pi. So this way it is get approximated. D0 is equals to this, and which of the large, L is very large than D, so we can reduce this directivity to this. So again it comes 4 L by lambda. So what this directivity for the entire array, that is 4 L by lambda. So the directivity of the entire array is twice that of the broadside array. So there it was the 2, now here is the 4. So the directivity of entire array is twice that of the broadside array. So that we can see. And similar example is given. So we will solve this particular example and then we'll stop. So this is what, again, the similar way, given a linear entire uniform array of 10 element, again 10 element is given with a spacing of lambda by 4 between the elements. Between the elements, the spacing is lambda by 4. Find the directivity of the array factor. Find the directivity of array factor. This array factor is identical to the broadside array example, similar to this. So this example is same as the previous example. Okay, so what is solution? D equals to, the formula is D0 equals to 4 n D by lambda. So what your n equals to, value of n is 10. You put the value of n is 10. D equals to lambda by 4 and lambda. So this you will get 10. So this is dimension. So we can say initially for broadside array we got the directivity as 5. Now the same 10 element array, and we are doing the adjustment for the entire array, the directivity is 10. So if we will put in dB, so we will get in dB it is 10 dB. So there we got around 7 dB directivity, here we got the 10 dB directivity. So this way you can have the understanding. Okay, so this can be discussed here. So if you have any doubt, you can ask. Is there any doubt?
No, sir, no, I am